Welcome everyone, Airy Spirit here. In this series of videos we'll be discussing the theory which proposes that we live in a matrix based on the recent scientific clash, which is based in the discovery of 99% of the mass of the atoms is without space. It doesn't have any mass at all. Why do we then perceive this reality as a solid reality, and what is the reality as a fact? We will be discussing it through a series which will be devoted in parts of chemistry, psychology, and biology, and also spirituality and metaphysics. This first part will cover up the chemistry part, and good luck with learning about the matrix.
In order to begin, we must first take into account the fact that you may have heard that everything around us is a representation of something much more smaller. That the whole is a combination of infinite small particles which cannot be fully perceived from our perception range. However, if all of those small particles end up building the reality we perceive in the whole are physically empty, then on what level are we perceiving this experience? This is a digital image which shows the ideal model accepted by contemporary science and how the atom is energetically and physically structured. These are the different orbitals. Each one requires a different amount of energy in order for the electron to orbit it, and are classified by various energetic layers. These spheres are the electrons which are orbiting the different orbitals of the atom. The spheres in the center of the atom are all the neutrons and protons which pull energetically the electrons. The more near the electrons are to the center, the more difficult it will be to extract them. The more far they are from the center, the easier it will be. If an atom has more electrons than protons, the charge will be negative. If an atom has more protons than electrons, the charge will be positive. If they have the same amount, the charge will remain neutral. This is an example of a periodic table of the elements found on Earth, both naturally and artificially created. The elements with cyan and magenta color are non-metallic. The elements with blue color are metallic. They are all ordered depending on the number of electrons they each one have individually. If you bond two elements which are non-metallic, this is called a covalent bond. And when you unite two elements which are one non-metallic and one metallic, it is called a ionic bond. Let's take the element calcium as a reference. The analysis shows both numbers 20 and 40.08. But what do they mean? The number 40.08 is the atomic weight of the element expressed with mole divided per gram and used to calculate the total grams of the substance when dealing with molar units. The number 20 shows the total number of electrons of an atom of that substance. However, it doesn't give any information about how are those electrons structured into the orbitals of the atom. And thus, the following tool is essential in discovering the structure of the atom of all elements that surround us, including our physical bodies composed mainly by water, carbon and silica. This is the Molar Diagram. It is an essential tool in discovering the orbit that the elements found on Earth take place and the different types of bonds they form through the electronical configuration of their total electrons as a substance, also referred as Z, or atomic number. The Molar Diagram indicates the way which electrons are structured in relation to their energetic layers. In order to calculate the electronic configuration of any element found on Earth, you need to know the number of electrons it has and thus follow the lines of the arrows in order to create a linear code that gives us information about the orbits of the atom. The most common energetic layers are the layers S, P, D, and F. The sharper S layer can hold a maximum of 2 electrons. The principal or P layer can hold a maximum of 8 electrons. The diffuse or D layer can hold a maximum of 18 electrons, and the fundamental or F layer can hold a maximum of 32 electrons. If we want to analyze any material which appears in our reality, we need to know two things: the electrons and its chemical formula. In this case, we have a crystal specimen called emerald calcite. We will analyze the orbit it follows through the Molar Diagram. The chemical formula of calcite is CaCO3, calcium carbonate. It is a bonding of one atom of calcium with 3 atoms of carbonate. If we add the number of electrons of each element without bearing in mind that we have to multiply the carbonates 3 times, Because we will have a complicated substance, the total number is 36 electrons. The number 36 is also the number of electrons of krypton, a noble gas, so the configuration and orbit representation will work for both of them. Bearing in mind that the total number of calcium carbonate is actually 62. Following the direction of arrows, the 1s takes 2 electrons, the 2s also does take 2, and this happens until the orbital 4p takes all the last 6 remaining electrons and the count is completed and ready to be transcribed into atom structure data. In one atom of calcium carbonate, we can align all the electrons corresponding to their own orbitals. We first calculate the total sum of electrons located in all the s orbits, which are 8, and then we align them to the orbit until our orbitals are filled with their total number of electrons from the electrical configuration code. This function allows us to understand that this reality is composed by elements which are absolutely all the same, but expressed in different ways. Many substances only depend on one electron or one slight atomic modification in order to become something which appears to be a complete different substance. The ultimate conclusion from chemistry is that we have happened to find that it is a matter of a fact that no matter in what body we are or no matter what body it is, we all share a unique atomic frequency which can be altered through any type of energy. We are all chemical formula expressed uniquely. We are all sensitive to energy and all share a frequency bond. Individuality is an illusion, collectiveness is truth. We are all intimately connected to each other through frequency, and we are all at the same time here.